Today I want to show you how to make a sweet little quilted card. It's very easy, but you can again you can do it in a little bit of a assembly line method if you have a lot to make. You can choose your colors, a soft one with pastels, a totally white one with a contrast, and a little bit brighter. And there's two main steps. The first is to make a frame. I pre-cut my paper into 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 sheets. And I'm just going to run this through to make the cuts. Oops. You could save the little squares if you wanted. Might be fun to make something with, or trash them. Your pleasure. But the nice thing about this die cut is it has little stitching lines, so it almost looks like a little quilt to begin with. Now you can make them in different colors. I chose mostly white, but it can be whatever you like. Now the next step is to do some embossing. And cutting that away. Again, the papers, this is a half of an 8 1/2 by 11 for the card bases, and I pre-cut my squares. And because our paper is two-sided, you have to pick which color of the paper you want. So here I have the dark side embossed, and this one I'm going to put the light side. There's a teeny bit of overlap when you put this under the frame. My usual pads here. We'll see if this goes for embossing. If I take this out. You can take this one out. You don't have to run it twice, but since I'm sitting at a desk, it's easier to. Beautiful embossed image. Now, to make these cards, I found it was easier to cut up this embossing folder. And I started, or this embossing plate, started by cutting in strips. So my card is going to have 3 colors. And I made 3 strips, and then I cut the strips right along the stitch line into little squares. And this is what it looks like. So I put 2 layers on here already, and I left one to show you how I did it. I find the easiest is to use just a basic tacky glue. And this Alayneswullinghands Turbo Tacky Glue has a nice little spout. And all I do is put like 3 dots around, and I do the whole row at once. And you do have to go over the previous row on the back. It's stored upside down and it's always ready to go. And you just lay them on top. I did make a couple mistakes in that because our paper is two-sided, I noticed that there's a dark side on a couple showing, and I was using the light side. Now you can follow the pattern that is on the embossing folder. The other thing I found is, because it's a little bit larger, you might have a little bit to trim off. I don't know if you want that one. Let's try that again. So you might have to trim off a little bit of excess so you don't have any sewing through your quilt board, showing through your quilt border. Let that dry well. This one I have pre-dried, and you can see the back, it's just on top of each other, but the border separates it nicely. Then you can take one of your card bases, and let's see, I will just use double-sided tape for this to make it nice and strong to adhere to my card. Now remember, when you cut out your frame, your quilt border or your frame, there is a little bit of excess. So that means it's now smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So you want to center, and it actually gives you enough little border. And because you have these layers of squares on the back, it almost looks puffy like a quilt. What I love about it is each square is quilted differently. So just centered on your card base. Make sure your card base is nice and square. Use a bone folder there. Now, the fun part of the simple quilt is you could make it any personality, any sentiment, or just a note card. On the one I already put a sentiment, I put "just for you." And let's see, okay. One of my new favorite stamps is coming out in July for the stamp of the month, and it says, "You bring so much happiness into my life." It's another very simple sentiment, but says so much. Trouble releasing my double stick tape here. You could do puffies, or if you're mailing, it's probably easier just to put flat tape. I think I'm going to go right near the bottom, a little off center there. I did mat it. So now I'll take some close-up pictures of these cards because the texture of them is kind of amazing, and I'll put it on my blog. I kept a picture of a photo I liked, and the artist is Brandy Berg, CTMH Crafty Companions, and she just made a beautiful baby card. She put a stamped bunny with a stamped star, and it said, "You are loved." And that was sort of my inspiration for this card. So thank you, Brandy Berger. And that shows you how you can make these cards into anything you want. So I know some of you have already gotten this beautiful embossing folder, and it goes so well with the quilted little squares. So let me see what you create when you finish. Have a great day. God bless.